Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. A viewer requested this Twin Flames Natal Charts analysis. And I just want to repeat that. A viewer requested this Twin Flames Natal Chart analysis. That's what we will be doing. Female is on the left. She requested it. Male on the right. Alright, so the first thing you see, her first house starts off in the sign of Libra. Now, the AC is the ascendant and also her rising sign. Again, Libra. Moon sign is also Libra. But it's where the sun was going over her horizon when she was born. That's the ascendant. That was in the sign of Libra, her rising sign. Then you have the EP or east point, where the sun was going over the ecliptic when she was born. And that's making this house her first house. Now, the moon is feminine energy, watery energy, motherly, nurturing energy. But the moon tends to deal with the hidden, the internal. Secrets and mysteries. Now, Libra is also can be somewhat hidden, secretive. So Libra is about social issues, what's fair, balancing. Libra really wants to do things with a partner, or even like other people, because Libra can be very sociable, especially with the moon in Libra. Now what happens, Libra can sometimes really, because they're going to do what they think is fair, or they're going to do what they think is best for everyone. And that's when the problems occur. Now, Libra might be right, Libra might be wrong, but everyone may not go with the program. So what happens with some Libras is, even if they say, okay, like if somebody says, listen, I heard what you said, but we're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one. And Libra may say, okay, but Libra is still going to bring it up again to try to find ways to make it what they think it should be. And that could be, kind of like nagging. So someone may not want to really deal with it. Also, especially with the moon, but Libra tends to see things from a idealistic or a should be frame of mind. But the world isn't really idealistic. The world tends to be realistic. And even when you first meet somebody, you're at your best behavior. But there will come a time when your more daily personality comes out. So sometimes what happens with Libra, they see things a certain way, And when they begin to see reality, they pull back. Like they begin to withdraw, and there's not a lot of communication there. And when you have the moon and Libra, this is going to be somewhat of an internal person. And that might not be good for a relationship. So these are things Libra must be aware of. So when they see themselves acting these things out, they can do something about it. Because remember, if you are trying to be in a relationship with somebody, they owe it to you to communicate, and you also owe it to them. And believe me, that's one of the biggest problems in relationships today. People are somewhat afraid to talk to each other, or people just don't want to be told or deal with it. So Libra rules the 7th house, so her first house is also going to be deeply connected to her 7th house. That's relationships, partnerships, business agreements, open enemies, sometimes cemeteries. To make sure I said it, relationships, law, balance. Now, Pluto retrograde. Now, whenever you see a retrograde, it could have something to do with your past life, especially when you see Pluto retrograde with Libra, because that could definitely be a soulmate or a twin soul. A twin soul is the twin flame, same soul, different body. A soulmate could be anybody in your soul family or soul group. But Pluto retrograde means something has to be taken or lost in this house. So this person may have or will have experienced some type of impactful loss in this house we're talking about, or this sign we're talking about. And again, remember, Libra rules the 7th house. So now her true north node is her life purpose. That little horseshoe is Scorpio. Now, why is this significant? Because that true north node does not have an aura, and whenever you see true north node without the aura, that means it's some type of problem situation in that particular sign or in that particular house. But the reason why her second house is going to be very important, because the second house is supposed to be your money, but you have Scorpio there. Scorpio represents the 8th house of other people's money or shared resources. So you probably have or will make the mistake of saying, what's mine is his. But he may not feel the same way. And sometimes people don't even realize that, because they'll be in a relationship or whatever. Because they like they may really believe in a relationship. So they're like, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part. And they just start opening up to the other person, but the person don't really open up back to them. So there's going to definitely be financial issue there, and it don't look too good with the true north node. So this person may really be like giving their money out to either that person in their life, that partner, or other people. And they don't realize that, wow, that's money you could have been investing in yourself. I mean, it's okay to help out, but let's not get crazy. And Uranus retrograde means extreme. This person doesn't know hot or cold. They either hot or cold. They really don't know the compromise or the middle ground. They don't even think it's a middle ground. Too extreme. And also, Uranus retrograde can mean this person changes. You know, they may go from being quiet to talkative, or they may go from being talkative to quiet. So this second house is going to be somewhat of an explosive house. Now, if you want to know more about Scorpio, because you have your free report, and we do everything that has to do with astrology, even the Archangel cards, and think of some stuff on there about chakras and the 12 houses. But that second house is an explosive house. And remember, Scorpio and Uranus deal with technology, sudden things happening, higher sciences, secret knowledge, hidden knowledge, alternative medicines. So all that could be going on too with this person. Now, third house. Whenever you're dealing with Neptune and Sagittarius, you're dealing with a person who is tapped in to the world around them and even the universe. And this is all going on in the third house, and that is your communications publishing house. It also has to do with other people. It also has to do with siblings and young ones. But the third house is one of the most creative houses that there is. When you're dealing with Sagittarius, you're dealing with the higher self, higher laws, in-laws, religion, philosophy, long distance. Neptune retrograde helps you increase your intuition, but also deals with like telepathy. It's going to affect your dreams. Sagittarius can be a healer. But this is a person that can tap into energies that are maybe higher up, long distance, or energies in the universe. But they just have to watch out for escapism because Neptune retrograde is escapism, and we see that a lot. You know, this person may just tend to hold things in. This can also be an educated person with Sagittarius in Gemini, the third house. Now, when you see Capricorn in the fourth house, this was usually a family where somebody was maybe a little too serious. Could also be a business family, a family where somebody was, really doing a business at home, because Capricorn represents the ruler of the 10th house, business and reputation. And in fifth, there she is with Aquarius in the 5th house. That's a person who has like really alternative. If it was Pisces in the 5th house, that's a person that maybe believes too much in love and they really put their partner on a pedestal. That would be Pisces in the 5th house. Aquarius in the 5th house, this is alternative stuff. She doesn't have to be conventional with her love and who she goes out with and who she chooses to be with or have fun with. In fact, she may tend to go unconventional, because that's what Aquarius does. And when you see that Aquarius, so that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, going right back to that 2nd house, and then there you see Scorpio. So this is a person that's not going to be afraid of all the things associated with sex, and the 8th house, ruled by Scorpio, can be highly sexual, highly sensual. But like I said, with that true north node with no aura on it, that can all mean, anything. Could be abuse as a child, or just other stuff. You see a lot of people in the bondage and stuff like that. But even so, she still has and we'll come back to good fortune. I don't want to talk about good fortune yet. She still has the Madonna thing going on, because in her 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo, she has Pisces. So the 6th house is opposite her 12th house. And the 12th house is where Virgo is, about ending. See? Now you're getting somewhere, because Juno's there too. So there's some type of wanting to serve. Like I said, this is a person who'll give too much, bottom line. And she's believing because she's given so much that the guy really want to be with her. Her partner or really want to be with her because she's really, doing her part and sacrificing and giving and all that. But unfortunately, and plus she's got the motherly nurturing stuff going on. But unfortunately, sometimes that could actually push a relationship further away. Like that was something I had to realize. This is third dimensional. So no matter what, like, let me just give you that. I got some crazy neighbors, nuts. They're nut jobs. But I'm still a nice guy, even though I know these people are just nut jobs. So somebody had parked by there or whatever, and dropped garbage or whatever. So the day I went out there to get it, and a woman was out there, but I was going to clean it up anyway because I'm just a nice guy. Plus, it looks horrible, you know? And then as soon as I did that, when I came back later on the day, her daughter once again pulls the car. Like her daughter, when she pulls the vehicle in that area, they're making a statement. Like they're making a statement, like, as to say, stay out of here. Well, first of all, I was helping your pathetic asses out, to be quite frank. Second off, I wasn't over there. And you're the one, you just had some people over there yesterday. For all you know, some of those people might have left that stuff. But so is third dimensional. So what I'm trying to say is, unfortunately, sometimes helping people and going all the way out for them is a bad mistake, because they're not going to respect you. And see, Venus, Pisces represents the 12th house. It rules the 12th house. The 12th house is all about martyrdom. Why is the 12th house about martyrdom? Like when you kill yourself, because you're so busy trying to serve other people and help other people that you actually play yourself out. Like somebody who's like, that's what my uncles did. Because when he found religion, he was a yes man. He did everything. They always called him. He never said no. And they used him and used him and used him until he was dead. And then they got on with their lives and almost forgot that he existed. And when they had the opportunity to pay back, to say thank you for all he did, they didn't do jack. So that's why I said the secret of the 12th house is to try to help people But the best thing you can do for any person is to help them help themselves. I have a relative going through some stuff now, and unfortunately, they think they're gonna pull everybody down with it. My schedule is already packed, so I can't take on your problems if you don't want to do nothing about it. I'm gonna have to tell you the truth. You may not like it, you may get mad at me, but unfortunately, maybe my tough love will save your life. Because just so you know, that's one of the best chart readings I ever gave. This was many years before I even did chart readings. We're going back maybe 13 years, and I was using Terry Nasan to learn how to read natal chart or transit charts and all that, and eventually natal charts. And I told him, you know, when your daughter gets older, like around her teenage years, you're gonna go away. And I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I could see it in the chart. And I told him, they were all him, my sister, because this is my brother-in-law. My sister was with him. So like a lot of stuff that happens on this planet, it went in one ear and out the other ear. But then that prediction came true like 13 years later. And if he doesn't get a grip, it may get worse. And it's like I said, it's not too much I can do but tell people, because like I'm not stepping down. Like, I'm not getting distracted, because I've come too far for anybody to just get distracted. Because that's really what all that is about. Because if you guys knew how much is going on, because we're in an age of enlightenment right now, and so people that are really trying to help others and enlighten them are under unbelievable attack. Everybody's wondering what happened to Minister Paul and his wife. He was called the Watcher on the Wall. Everybody's wondering what happened to him and all kind of crazy stuff. Sherry Shriner, somebody, we don't know. She one of her last videos was they're trying to murder me, and the next thing you know, she's gone. And I can tell you, they're definitely messing with me. So this stuff is very real, which is why we don't have a lot of time to waste on non-productive stuff. So the 6th house is connected to the 12th house, and that Juno is a serious relationship. So there's some type of serious relationship that she may have with a Juno or a Virgo. But again, Virgo is all about service, home, small children, daily activities. Subordinates, co-workers. And with the 12th house is all about things in the subconscious mind, coming to reckon, things that are hidden, bringing them out and dealing with it. Could be about buildings. And it can be about other things like, just dysfunctional stuff, drinking, hospitals. And remember, the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So there's definitely some type of Pisces or Virgo energy that you may find yourself in a serious relationship with. But there'll still have to be reckoning. 12th house can be about karma as well, in secrets. And it could definitely be about past lives. And then in the 7th house, Aries. See, again, you have it kind of backwards. Because, see, your first house should be I am, Aries. But your second house should be Libra, like we are. But in your 7th house, you have, again, kind of like aggression. Kind of like Aries would be like I am, selfish aggression. Now, whether that's you or your soulmate or your twin, who knows? But right there is a vertex cross. So that vertex cross means a significant event, a fated event, or your twin flame, your twin soul, or your soulmate. But again, it's kind of aggressive because of the Aries energy. And but yet it's healing, which is kind of strange. With Chiron. So some of the stuff we will come back to. But now going into your soul house, the 8th house, and there it is. See, your 8th house is supposed to be shared resources and stuff like that. But Taurus represents the 2nd house, which is your resources. So that just seems to be, wow, just, and Jupiter's there too, and Venus. So this is a lot going on, but it's like really connected to other people. Shared resources, other people's resources. So this is really amazing. So this is definitely a sexual priestess. Now, why do I say that? Because of Vesta. And remember, Vesta can be the hearth of the fire, and it's right next to the sun sign. And Taurus can be very sensual. And see, sun sign in Taurus is kind of like Taurus in the 5th house, because the 5th house is ruled by Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So this is a person, like I said, that really doesn't, they'll spend it. You know what I'm saying? They could care less. Like, they're partying, and they spend it. But you got to ask yourself, are your friends spending it too? Or is it just you? Because they used to have songs about people who did that. Just to have friends and stuff. They'd walk in and become the life of the party. Pay for everything and stuff like that. But then the only friends you have are the people you're paying for. And they're not really your friends. Because once the money goes, so do they. So you have a lot of that going on in the 8th house. It's a lot of, Venus likes to party. Venus likes to have fun. Likes to go out and dance. Very diplomatic. Not really serious or long term, but just caught up in a moment. But they just are partying. And look at her. Both her Jupiter and her Venus are at 10 degrees. Pallas helps you see patterns, but Pallas is also a sociable asteroid. So if you see Pallas retrograde, it's sociable, like people in need and stuff like that. But I've come to appreciate Pallas as sociable, whether it's direct or retrograde, because your 8th house is a very sociable house. But it's just that you don't realize that money you could be saving for yourself, you're blowing it on people that may not be there for you when you need them. And let's go back to that vertex. So anytime you see something popping off like at 28 degrees, 29 degrees, it just looks like you'll meet your soulmate or twin soul. But because of the Aries aggression, it won't really pan out into a serious relationship. And in order for it ever to be a serious relationship, you need Virgo healing. You need the 12th house to heal. You need Pisces inspiration. And that still doesn't mean it's going to happen in this life. But it's just something about your 5th house and your 8th house. This is a person that's just saying, party. If I got people with me and we're having a good time, I don't care. Because that's basically kind of like what your 2nd house is saying. Because Scorpio means other people's money or shared resources or stuff like that. When your 2nd house should really be about your money. So you see it both in your 8th house and your 2nd house. Your money and your resources are really becoming other people's. Now the 9th house is Gemini in the 9th house, which is interesting. Because like I said, this is the educated person. And Gemini is a creator. But what they're trying to tell you with Mercury retrograde, that a lot of the stuff you try to publish, now whether you really publish information or just talk about it, whatever it is, it's not going to really be necessarily understood. It might be understood by some people, but it's not necessarily going to be understood because you got that Mercury retrograde. And you may even have some thought related challenges because of Mercury retrograde, because it deals with your intellect. And then there you go, your 10th house, which represents employment. There's the family again. But remember, the 4th house is ruled by Cancer. That's 6-9. That's your 4th house. That deals with teenage to adult education, land and property, family and ancestors, your heart. Imum Coeli, whoever played the role of the mother when you were younger, that's Imum Coeli. She's usually with the moon in Cancer, the nurturer, and she'll be in your subconscious mind for your whole life. But as I said, for some reason, this is in your 10th house. So it's still implying a family business. Or this could be a highly educational person. Like I said, Cancer represents teenage to adult education. So this may be some type of teacher that really has published information. And that could be like major publishing, but you could just be a teacher. You might be doing little things for the classroom. That's still publishing. Now, when I used to see Saturn and Mars, I always said this is the type of person that tries to lay the law down, and if they feel like you're not adhering to the law, then they'll strike one way or another. So let's look at that. Let's look at Saturn conjunct Mars. I'm just looking it over. Give me a moment. Saturn conjunct Mars can mean you have a strong. Give me a moment. This thing always does. As soon as I start reading it, the pop up always comes. You have a strong drive for power and lots of ambition, but are often frustrated in achieving your goals by a poor sense of timing, or holding yourself back because of fear or tension. When active, you're responsible to the extreme, taking on obligations and pushing yourself. And you may have a tendency to try to force things. Because that's what I said. Saturn wants to lay down a law, but then if you don't follow it, then Mars is going to become kind of to try to make you do it. So others may find your approach severe and hurtful. So Saturn may tend to temper Mars because Mars can be impulsive. And remember, wherever your Aries is on your chart, or your like wherever Aries rules, this is going on in that 10th house. But Mars can also help Saturn because Mars can cause Saturn to have deliberate action. They said Mars represents beginnings because remember, Aries rules Mars, or Mars rules Aries, and Mars is the first house. Aries is the first house of the zodiac. So Mars means starting new projects, taking new action, being innovative. Whereas Saturn marks endings, especially on a material level. So with Saturn and Mars together, you may experience starts and stops, progress and setbacks, and constant stress of all kinds. So then with Saturn conjunct Mars, you tend to know your limits and not overstep them. So this type of person would have extra staying power, determination, and physical exercise. But again, it's still related to family, teenage to adult education, land and property, real estate, the heart, family and ancestors, or the mother in one's subconscious, which is the Imam Coeli. And as we've been learning, this person is somewhat of a leader among people. Because even when you see Aquarius, remember Aquarius rules 11th house. So she has Aquarius in the 5th house, which is ruled by Leo, and then she has Leo in the 11th house, ruled by Aquarius. So she's kind of like good with people. She's kind of like a leader. And I don't know if she's running from things or what, but she kind of, because you got that escapism going on with Neptune retrograde. But she really doesn't. She wants to party, and she doesn't mind if she's spending her own money primarily to do it. So again, she has some type of serious relationship with Juno, with Pisces or Virgo, but they just have a lot of reckoning to do. Maybe past life stuff or stuff they have hidden or that they just need to pull out and reckon with and deal with. All right. So again, you see good fortune leaving the 5th house with Aquarius into the 6th house with Pisces. And that really takes you to the 12th house with that Virgo. That Virgo in the 12th house either means they're working together, her and a person she'll be in a serious relationship with, because that's what Juno means. But it could also mean that they're going to need closure in that relationship. Because that's what this 12th house is all about, reckoning, closure. So part of fortune in the 6th house. This person was born just prior to a full moon. So your moon would have been a prior, right before a full moon in Libra. That's when you were born. This person would be interested in self-improvement, self-discipline. His mind is on bigger things. They like to get justice for those who suffered injustices. And you may find this person serving those who are confined to hospitals, prisons, fighting for animals' rights. Even when you see Virgo in the 12th house, that could be somebody who is going to be connected to health insurance and things. or in a hospital. Because remember, the 12th house is about buildings. So this could deal with doctors, nurses, veterinarians, soldiers, sailors. And again, it could be this person directly or the person he's finding himself into a serious relationship with. In some cases, they may both work in the medical field. Good fortune or part of fortune in Pisces. This person is going to be spiritual and mystical. And that can also deal with the 12th house as well. And that might be one of the reasons why they're misunderstood. Because they have mystical understanding. Because Mercury retrograde implies they won't always be understood. And if you go back to the 3rd house that Gemini rules over, it's Neptune right there. And Neptune is connected to mysticism. And Neptune retrograde might mean these are even people that even do stuff like get high to go into higher dimensions or higher frequencies, or smoke weed for that reason. Because we already saw they may be dealing with alternative health. And that's what you get with Scorpio and Uranus. And they may make money there because a lot of people are going to alternative stuff. That's where they make money. And that might be the reason why they're carefree about it. Because their money house is definitely Taurus. Their money house is definitely their 8th house ruled by Scorpio, but Taurus is there. So this is sexuality, pleasure, sensuality, fun, secrets, 8th house stuff. 10 degrees Taurus. Well, let's do 28 degrees Aries. What is that? 28 degrees Aries. Independent, helpful, forgiving character. They overcome the numerous obstacles which crop up throughout life very courageously. One is appreciated for one's dedication to friends and colleagues and kept in high esteem for the quality of one's work. Success and notoriety can be achieved in animal husbandry, forestry, and the wood industry, particularly if in the natal chart Mars is positioned in Taurus. All intellectual occupations such as education, literature, or architecture are also very favored. One must be very careful with contracts because they may conceal some breach of trust and lead to a lawsuit, particularly at the beginning of one's career. Happiness in love and marriage may come late. Because I brought that out in the first house. I said whenever you see Libra and stuff, it could have to do with law, court matters, and stuff like that, possibly. Yeah. Now 10 degrees Taurus. Shrewd, greedy, stingy character. If one is born rich, the initial wealth is increased through one's work, most probably the exploitation of raw materials or ore. If one is born poor, wealth and celebrity are obtained through cunning. In both cases, one is hated for one's cupidity and stinginess. But it's funny they should say that because both them 10 degrees is Jupiter and Venus, so I don't see that at all. This is a person that's gonna spend. That's why I don't really like always go with the degrees. This is a person that's really partying. Everybody knows Taurus with like Leo or the Sun is a person that's highly sensual, wants to eat, wants to have massages, a lot of sensuality, a lot of sex, and they'll blow money like this. If they're feeling good, they blow money quick. And we already learned that this person really will, spend up. It may be a desire to be liked. See, we don't know what their personality was. Maybe it was something coming up where now they, maybe in their family they didn't feel wanted and respected or loved, so now they kind of almost pay for it. But it's be careful because they could actually burn themselves out. So again, just get more familiar with the 8th house ruled by Scorpio, which is on that free natal report, free astrological report you receive. And ironically, even the moon is at 10 degrees. So let's just see 10 degrees Libra with that moon.
This man symbolizes subtlety, duality, changes, and sometimes opportunism and hypocrisy. The centaur represents independence, idealism, courage, and sometimes boastfulness and conceit. The natal chart indicates which drawing is relevant. In both cases, success is achieved through personal efforts, good luck, and marriage. This degree often indicates that the father is a foreigner or an important man whose social status is much higher than that of the mother. In some cases, the father dies because the child is born or the child occurs out of wedlock. And what's interesting about that, the 10 degrees Libra, but the moon is right there. Because they're talking about the mother and the father, but the moon is right there. And the moon, of course, is going to represent that nurturing mother. All right, so then when you go over to next chart right away, the moon is in the ascendant just like hers is, but it goes right to Gemini. So his moon sign is Gemini. Uh, Again, moon can make you moody, hide emotions, and Gemini is known to be an immature energy. Like if you see Gemini in the 10th house, that's the person who doesn't really have any long time jobs, or they work part-time jobs, or they're like the jack of all trades, the master of none. So it's a lot of immaturity with this person. His second house is family. So to him, money, possessions, and value system has a lot to do with his family. Whatever family, it could be a family he's born into, or the family that came out of his loins. But either way, he associates money with them. Third house, Gemini again, Leo. So he's a very creative person. Because remember, Gemini is very creative. Now remember, I explained what's in these houses. First house ruled by Aries, second house ruled by Taurus, third house ruled by Gemini, fourth house ruled by Cancer, fifth house ruled by Leo, sixth house ruled by Virgo, seventh house ruled by Libra, eighth house ruled by Scorpio, ninth house ruled by Sagittarius, 10th house ruled by Capricorn, 11th house ruled by Aquarius, 12th house ruled by Pisces. So like I said, very creative person. And Chiron retrograde means there some type of things occurred where he didn't get full healing, whether in this life or in a past life. That's Chiron retrograde. Now, fourth house, he's got Virgo there. So this is it was kind of like a home, family type, home, house, or family type situation that he probably grew up in. And Vesta is there with Virgo because they work together. So this is spirituality. This is Mother Mary. And their good fortune of Jupiter blessing them with finances and expansion, and good fortune is linked directly to that formula. Like Vesta working with Virgo to turn this into a good home, to turn this family into a good home. Might even been a little bit Catholic energy here. Either way, Jupiter was blessing them. So when you get to the 5th house, now it's a big house. Cause see, this is what it is. See, for him, it's got to be fun, and with Venus, got to be fun. It got to be sexual, and he definitely wants partnership there. But for him, it's got to be fun. So he's not going to try to go with any female to have a good time, because when he takes a partner out, he really means good time, not just goofing off and laughing or something. He really wants to get down with his Venus. Six, well, there goes the 6. We're not going to touch yet. Oh, now in her chart, if you go back to her 3rd house, that's that's also the communication house with Sagittarius. That means it might even be a person connected with that speaks other languages, because Sagittarius can represent long distance, people that we would perceive as foreigners, even foreign family. But either way, that's going on in her 3rd house with Sagittarius. And that's what you have in the 7th house. Again, some type of foreign possible relationship or partnership or business or legal matters. Because see, Sagittarius represents higher courts, but the 7th house also represents the law and courts. So it might be even some connections to higher courts. And sometimes when you marry somebody out of state, like you might have a Filipino wife, so that's kind of like that. That's a foreign court, or you might get married over in the Philippines, or even if she came here and you wanted to marry her here, they would still get involved one way or another. But you would still have to send paperwork or whatever, and they would have to approve that. Or you would have to go all the way back to the Philippines to marry her. So that's what the 7th house is kind of giving you, a possibly foreign relationship, or they may be connected through, like I said, Sagittarius does have psychic energy. They may be connected through that. Again, this could be a long distance relationship, or one or both are considered what you would say foreigners. But this is all going on in the 7th house. And it seems to be great communication there, a lot of nurturing there. So now in the 8th house, this is an old soul. And not only is he an old soul, but that's his true north node. So whenever you see Capricorn in the 8th house, see, this is a guy, and this is also dealing with a lot of karma, because Saturn rules Capricorn. This is a guy that knows how to make a business and even a reputation out of 8th house matters. And that could be anything from business to finance to agents. But then it goes into the supernatural, the esoteric, the mystical. So it all depends on him. But you definitely know he's an old soul. And that's his true north node. Now, whatever happens when you have Neptune and Uranus, Capricorn represents the established way of doing things. Uranus represents the overthrow of it. And Neptune represents the new way of doing things. It's kind of like when they knocked down the walls of communism and then started setting up McDonald's in Russia or in the Soviet Union. So Neptune will represent that new way of doing things, that McDonald's in the Soviet Union. Capricorn will represent the Soviet Union, and Uranus will represent whatever it took to break those walls down. It's the rebellion, whatever it took, but it's the opposition. So Neptune conjunct Uranus is trying to break down something and build it back up. But you notice that Juno is there. See, he would find himself in a serious relationship with probably Capricorn energy, maybe Scorpio energy. And that's a true north node, Scorpio. But they both got that Juno there. I mean, they both got that Uranus there. See, this is looking more like a soul connection. And because you're seeing Capricorn and Saturn, it's probably like a karmic soul connection. So when you go to the ninth house with Aquarius, usually when medium Coeli is in your ninth house, and that can be your twin flame or whoever it is some type of mentor, whether it's this person or that person who's carrying that Aquarius energy. And if you notice, Juno's right there. So I would kind of launch out. I would kind of launch out and say his twin flame would be probably Aquarius energy, possibly Sagittarius because that is the ninth house. But I would probably say Aquarius energy, and he would be in a serious relationship with her. But again, Saturn represents karma. It could represent employment, so can Capricorn. But sometimes it's just the male figure of a twin flame relationship or the domineering figure of a twin flame relationship. And it could represent some type of authority. But here it looks like a twin flame relationship, serious relationship with Juno. But it was just that too much Saturn was trying to control. See, Aquarius wants freedom, but Saturn wants to kind of control it. And you see the fight going on in the eighth house too, because Capricorn is saying, "Hey, let's maintain the wall, let's maintain order," but Uranus is saying, "Nah, we gonna tear that wall down." And then Neptune says, "We got a whole new idea, like McDonald's in Russia. You Russians don't know what's coming. Who'd ever thought? Who'd ever thought we'd be selling McDonald's in Russia? Got a whole new idea." So that's what's going on here. A karmic relationship is usually built on some past life stuff. Like in my ninth house, I got the same thing, medium Coeli. I got Saturn, but it's retrograde. And I got Aquarius. Now, Aquarius was probably, which I did have some type of an Aquarius situation in the early 1990s. But Aquarius could have also been an aspect of my twin flame as well. And Saturn retrograde could be abusive as well. But even Saturn direct like this one could be a type of bully. Because Aquarius just wants to go and do what Aquarius does, feel free and just, have fun, enjoy life. They don't want to go too deep. Like Gemini and Sagittarius, Gemini and Aquarius rather do not want to go deep. And even Sagittarius wants his freedom too. They all want their freedom. They don't really want to go deep. Pisces, 10th house. And this would be a person that would have some type of spiritual career, inspirational career. Even a career around water, because Pisces deals with water. Or they might have some type of career that's connected with ideals. Because it deals with idealism and stuff like that. Even like business marketing, and you know how people used to do commercials and stuff like that. Even like an inspirational coach, like that dude, I think his name is Anthony Robbins or something like that. 11th house Aries, a lot of aggression with friends, association, and groups. Going back to the Aries energy. 12th house, okay, a lot of endings with Taurus. So now let's go back around it again. Still not ready for the 6th house yet. And remember, because we'll get back to that. All right. Wherever you see Lilith on your chart, we have to go back to this chart over here. Lilith usually means some form of repression or holding stuff in, especially when she's retrograde. So in this one, the chart to the left, the 8th house is really like a fun house. It's got the sun. It's inviting the people to come. Listen, it's a lot of money, a lot of love, probably great entertainment, music. Come on, let's do this, and blah, blah, blah. But underneath all that is that repression I keep talking about. Because it's a reason. That's Lilith, retrograde. Like if you ever heard the song Tears of a Clown. Tears of a Clown, he's like, oh yeah, you know, at the party, I'm the life party, I'm making everybody happy and all that. But if they knew how miserable I feel inside, how sad I feel inside. So that would be like Lilith in this house right here. Because that 8th house is the party house. And they said Prince was like that. Prince would love to throw parties and all that, but he really was messed up inside. And that's why the 12th house is encouraging this person to really bring it all out. Heal. Use Virgo healing. So it's basically the same thing with his 8th house. See, Lilith retrograde is in both these 8th houses. So he's dealing with repression too, this guy to the right. And in his 9th house, it might be a serious relationship, but you just got to be careful because that Saturn and that Capricorn, they're trying to control stuff. And then this person in the left, see, they have Venus and Jupiter, but it's based on just like partying. And unfortunately, you see that a lot. So I'm like, if you were a guy and used to go out with dancing, and a female that normally wouldn't talk to you or anything, she probably walk right past you or something. But maybe because of the song, she's dancing, and if you could kind of dance, kind of whatever, kind of good or whatever, you might really get into it with her with the dancing or whatever. But like when that music stops, she may not even be interested in furthering the conversation. Like you old timers remember the freak, and that was a dance that all the guys wanted, the freak, because you could basically do anything. But as long as the music was pumping, you could do almost anything to that female at that time. But then once that song was over, you better not try that because she smacked the shit out of you. But when that song was on, it was everything was just doing it. So unfortunately, that's how people can be. And that's what I'm saying in the eighth house. Everything that in the eighth house to the left is about partying. Like whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like but it's not, none of that is based on any form of sincerity or longevity or I really like you. I really want this to grow, or ever since we shared that dance, I can't get you off my mind. It's like, nah, it's like almost as soon as that situation is over with, they're already ready to jump in with somebody else. And anywhere where you see anything that would mean something a little bit more serious, it's like you gotta heal first. You gotta heal first. Chart on the left. So same thing with him. You got Juno with Aquarius, but Saturn's right there trying to stop everything. Saturn's trying to control and Aquarius wants to be free, but Saturn's trying to control it, and therefore nothing's gonna grow. Now, in a recent natal chart, I put it on a spiritual channel. I was looking at my chart, and I realized a lot of stuff. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes when it keeps missing, like when Juno or whatever or Venus has just missed your house into the next one at 0 degrees, or it's at the end at 29 degrees, it's just missing it. And sometimes I wonder, like I said, well, once you realize that, can't you say, you know what, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna be more friendly, more sociable, and then I'll be in a relationship. And I would say some people can, but like some people can, like me, I probably wouldn't want to do it because I like where I'm at now. Not saying anybody wants to be single, but at the same time, I kind of like where I'm at now, so I wouldn't necessarily be interested in, trying to change and all that. Plus, I've seen things go bad no matter what you did, so that's why when you see that, but each person could change or whatever the case would be. The title of this video is Power, but also Men with Mental. Now this is Prophet Manasseh. He says, Gary, the enemy cannot take what is rightfully yours. He's usually always on point because he be saying something that's the exact thing that's going on in my life, and it ain't no coincidence. All right. So now again, you have your free report. So make sure you get familiar with the 8th house ruled by Scorpio, because that's what a lot of this is. That's one thing that they definitely have in common on this chart is a lot of Scorpio stuff, a lot of 8th house stuff, and in her case, 2nd house stuff because Scorpio's in her 2nd house. But now Scorpio's in the healing house. So again, this could be a psychic. This could be like a card reader, or they may be using alternative medicine to heal. And remember, Scorpio is the most powerful zodiac sign, and it can self-heal. It's also one of the most, if not the most, psychic sign. But that's their sun sign, which is kind of crazy. You notice how his sun sign is right there, 0 degrees. So he really could be a Sagittarius or a Scorpio. But technically it would be Scorpio because 0 degree is like 1 degree. But he really could pass for either one. And then he has Pluto in Scorpio. So he's going to be a very powerful person. But like remember, Scorpio deals with mystery, sex, transformation, doubt, accusation, power struggles, jealousy. Could be a lot of drama when you're dealing with Scorpio. But still, in the sixth house, this is going to come into the home, service, young animals, young children, daily activities, daily duties, subordinates. And that's where he's going to find his soulmate or twin soul with the vertex cross. And again, he's got skill because Palace is going to help him see patterns. But again, this is the sixth house of service, and that's what I'm saying. So he still would be interested in helping, like socially helping people. But Pluto and Scorpio are going to be a very impactful person. Powerful, transforming, deep. But with him, the danger is Mars used to rule Scorpio. Now Mars rules Aries. But it's going to be too much intensity that could become damaging with Mars, because you also see it with Saturn trying to control everything in the ninth house. So this gentleman definitely has a tendency to want to control stuff and possibly even get explosive if things doesn't go his way. So again, to me, they just have a... See, this is what I'm trying to say. I just got to say this. Let me just fastly go through a couple of females in my life. Like there was a female named Kim just came up to me one day and just kissed me. But we never expanded. I had that kind of situation. Now, those type of situations could have grew, but they didn't really grow. Now, were they meant to grow? Who knows? You'll never know. But then you have situations where it just seemed like they were destined to happen. And other ones look like coulda went this way, coulda went that way. But other ones were like, oh no, this was definitely going to happen. And then nowadays, because people are waking up, you'll have situations where you feel it and they feel it, but then it doesn't go anywhere because fear starts. The female don't want to get hurt, and the guy don't want to get hurt either. And then you start a new job, and immediately y'all are kind of talking and making eye contact and all that and shit. But then one, maybe the guy, but one will pull back like I don't know if I'm ready for this. It ain't about shit. She probably ain't gonna be about shit. She ain't gonna be no different than other females. And then she might be, oh, here's another dude. The woman, he's looking at you with eye contact, and then he starts pulling back. So then she pulls back and then she's like, fuck this, I don't have no time for this stupid shit. Because that's one of the first things she told me when I first met her and shit. She said, oh, nah, I don't have no time for no stupid shit. We was just talking and shit. But I couldn't be mad at her because I'm a lot like that myself. So then this shit cools off and stuff, you know. But it could mean it's over, but it doesn't. And then as crazy as it sounds, even though you might say I don't got no time for that stupid shit, but you might meet somebody that you wanted. You understand? Like then your old personality comes back. You know, Mr. Sociable, smiling, flirtatious, won't take no for an answer. But it took that person because you didn't show that same person with nobody else. So life is funny. So why am I telling you all this? Because on charts like this, that's kind of like what you have. Like I could be in a relationship with one female and we may have been highly I'm looking for highly passionate. And we may have had some good times together, but that wasn't somebody I would call a soulmate. And if it was like, like one person, they were more like a friend. Now, who knows what they were like in the past? Like, even though I was with them for a long time, but at the end of the day, there was never no soul, like no deep soul connection. Even though we did everything, but it was never like that. It was never like a deep soul connection. I wouldn't really call that a soul, but yet that person is always popping up even to this day. So you would say, well, you're saying it's not a deep soul connection. Why does the universe go out of its way? In fact, I just saw a picture of a female that looks just like her just last night. I was just sitting there looking at it, but I still don't feel like we were like soul connected. But I'm sure if we got the natal charts on the paperwork, we would be soul connected. But as far as feelings and intuition, we were never soul connection. But we were close. Like we were like a brother and sister. I mean, just like good friends. Like we were just like friends. Almost like you have like a partnership, like a karmic partnership relationship with somebody. And see, when you see Libra, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. And if you notice, that's where his Venus is with Libra. That's why I'm trying to explain this. Now, she may not feel that way, but then again, you got to understand, some people just go by their feelings. I've been doing this for a while. And first, I know charts when I see them, and I'm just telling you. Because I remember one female, I said, this guy is not your twin. And she was really upset. But then as time went on, she found out that he wasn't. And you see all these people out here on YouTube, they really don't know. And they don't really want to study it. They just want to just be talking and coming up with anything. So the mature way is just to deal with it. So like I said, even though me and that person were together, we were good friends, partners. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. More like friends and brothers and sisters and partners. We're together for a long time. We did a lot of stuff together. But I would never say she is a soulmate. And even the female I was with when I was a teenager. Now, me and her were real close, real intimate and everything. But I still don't even think I had a soul connection with her. Like, if she see me, she may still run up to me and hug me really tight or whatever. But I didn't have a soul connection with her. And I'm saying if these were like soul family members or soulmates, it was at a lower, less level. Now take Tammy J. Definitely a soul connection. Like, unbelievably. Soul connection. Even though we never did anything. Because most of these females I really have a deep connection with, I'd be scared to death of them. Because I'd be scared of the energy. But I'm starting to understand it better because now I understand twin flame and twin souls. But now me and Tammy, definitely. No doubt in my mind that me and Tammy are not connected. We're connected. And take my Kenyan. Now the Kenyan, definitely. Now, out of all these females I'm naming, she would be like the one that would really be like at the top level of what would have like a soul mate would have been. Would have been that Kenyan. And I met other females off and on, but even then, a lot of that stuff, it just comes and goes. And then there was another female I was kind of with. I was only with her once though, but that would be That would even be more like a soul connection. It's just deep. It's just, you could feel it. Like you could feel it, like a soul connection. It's not just emotions. It's not just, oh, you know, I really like this person and blah blah blah. So that's what I kind of, the vibe I get off of this one is more like a comic. It's like a karmic connection. It's primarily playing off of Gemini, off of Sagittarius energy. And it's other signs as well, but it's primarily playing. If what I meant to say, I don't know if I said it right. It's primarily playing off of Scorpio energy. Like that's her true north node. That's his sun sign. And that's what I'm saying about a Scorpio, because it's so powerful. You automatically say, you know, this is my twin or whatever, but it may not be. It might be like a soul connection. And what happens is, like, people don't want, you know, because it's quite obviously there would be charts that fit way better than these two charts. But sometimes when you like somebody, you don't want to hear it. But these charts don't really even, they don't really tell a story, and they really don't even fit. So it's definitely, I'm not saying they can't have strong emotions, but, you know, even like I was talking about recently, I was talking about this female that I used to work with, and she left, and I missed her. Then when she came back, then we started dating, or whatever you want to call it. Even me and her was real close, but I don't know if we would have been a soulmate. And maybe you know, maybe if we would have been allowed to grow, we would have became a soulmate. But I don't know. So I just see things differently, because sometimes I just think certain things are just destined to happen. Like if something's really destined to happen, can't nobody stop it from happening. But somehow you just know, like if you have intuition, if your intuition is turned on, because there's a difference between some female you meet and y'all might just start talking, and just for whatever reason y'all hang out and have great sex or something, and you're like, I'll never forget this. This was, you know, one of the best days of my life or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean you feel like you're connected to her on a soul level. But the experience was great. And that's how that female was. Like, everything about her was just great. But I don't think we were connected on a soul level. And the other one, it's not that everything with her was great or not great. I was just with her for a long time, but don't think I connected to her on a soul level. Don't think I connected to Booby on a soul level. Booby was my teenage girlfriend, but we did everything. We were definitely like family. I'd be over her house all the time. She's on my house all the time. But I definitely don't feel a soul connection. But with the Kenyan, most definitely, till this day. Because with the Kenyan, I really wanted that. Like, I was thinking about that earlier this morning. I was like, you know, with the Kenyan, I really wanted to be, like, married to her and shit. We were supposed to get married and everything, but the Kenyan was a fucking trip. All she did was just start drama and talk crazy. And I hate that talking crazy shit. And some said, well, if she came back now, would you? I said, no, I could never. That's the past. Like, I could sit with her, though, because we was friends. Like, me and the Kenyan, we was friends. We was lovers. We was friends. We was thugs. We was, like, every fucking thing. Like, she is the everything female and shit. Like, that Kenyan was definitely top A. I don't think I've ever met a female that could hit her pedigree and shit. So even with your twin, doesn't mean y'all gonna get along. Because me and my twin could not get along at all. And then me and Tammy could never get along. But Tammy would kind of try, but I would always reject it. And I think every little thing she did, I would take and view it as rejection. But when I look back, she wasn't really rejecting me. It was me rejecting myself. And you learn about that in the 12th house. A lot of times you think somebody's your enemy, but it's actually your projection. That's in the 12th house. Your fears and stuff like that. So, I don't know who will hear this video, but I hope they do, you know, think about what I'm saying. But when it's a twin flame situation, the charts tell a story almost like you walk through a room, open up a door, and walk out and walk into another room. That's how the charts are. It's almost like it's a walk. And this just seems more like it's more karmic. That's why you're dealing with maybe Capricorn and Saturn. And even when you're dealing with Scorpio, you could be dealing with like a soul connection or a soul karmic connection. And then some people might say, well, what does it matter? I don't think you know what you're talking about. What does it matter? The only thing that might matter is if you're saying your karmic soul connection is your twin soul or your twin flame. What happens if the real twin flame shows up? What happens then? So I'm all about just being honest, tell it like it is. Nobody's not telling a person who to be with, but I think too many people, they just, once you start lying, like whenever you tell any type of lie, at some point it's going to have to deal with reality again. So me, I don't get involved with that. I try to deal with reality at all times. And if it means I suffer loss, I suffer loss. But I would just rather, for me, my own conscience, I would rather do that. That's why I said when somebody's calling over here and they're talking crazy or just talking, but really it's just philosophizing, or maybe they need to get a checkup, or I don't know. I don't have time for that, nigga. Because like all life is like serious. None of this stuff is a joke. And when you think it's a joke, that's when you at some point find out it wasn't that funny, you know. Because so many people are in graves and jail and crazy houses, sexually diseases, all that because they thought it was funny. Everything's not funny. So you got to really have some type of maturity. And sometimes that's why Capricorn and Saturn come around, because some people are just too immature. And then Saturn and Capricorn come to discipline them, or Pluto retrograde to show up to discipline them and stuff. So this is Gat. It's been a pleasure. God bless.